Hello, everybody, and welcome to our broadcast. We're very excited to have you join us today. We've got a really exciting webinar that we're excited to run through some of this content with you. My name is Dave Taylor. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Impartner. I've been at Impartner for 3 years now. I love what's going on here at the company, and I think it reflects the broader growth and recognition of indirect channels as a strategic growth element for so many companies in the market today, that we've just seen interest and demand in data and good analytical insight and best practices consulting around indirect channels really skyrocket recently. It's an exciting time to be associated with the channel, and I think probably nobody understands that better than our guest presenter who is with us today. Tim Harmon is currently the principal at a consulting group that does very deep dive into both strategy and best practices, but I think most importantly for us today, technology. The company is called NuVoce. Tim previously had spent 10 years as the principal channel analyst at Forrester, the analyst company. But I think, and I'll let Tim say this yourself, but from conversations with Tim, I think what he likes now is that he's able to be much more consultative in his approach with companies. Rather than giving the kind of analyst pitch, he's able to do deep dives into, how is your channel progressing? What technology stack do you currently have? What are your best practices? And then help try and carve and hone a really, really powerful go-to-market strategy through the indirect channel. So Tim, it's great to have you here with us today.
Well, thanks, Dave. It's good to be here.
Tim's going to run through a couple of slides talking about what we see as kind of the challenge that many of our customers deal with as they try and sort their way through the fog of building out a channel tech stack. And we'll talk quite a bit as we go through about how the channel tech stack relates to marketing stacks and sales stacks and others. But okay, Tim. Just a real quick update on Impartner, and I don't want to spend your valuable time on this, but I'll just introduce you quickly to our company. We've been around for 20 years. The company was purchased 3 years ago by an investment consortium. The CEO and I and most of our team came on at that point. We've just seen stunning growth, over 300% growth in those 3 years. We now have more than 6 million partners logging in and using us on a regular basis. So it's, again, been very exciting to see that extremely dynamic growth that's been happening. Okay, Tim. And one of the things that I think has really driven that is we see companies that are absolutely hungry for the insight into how their indirect channels are progressing. About a year and 2 or 3 months ago, Accenture did some very interesting research where they interviewed a huge number of B2B companies that had indirect channels, and 97% of them indicated that indirect channels were critical to the ongoing success of their business. And yet, coupled with that, how important that makes the indirect channel, only 21% had control over it, and a full 84% of these companies indicated that they don't have visibility into the pipeline and opportunity pipeline of the partners that make up their community. And when we think about that, we think that one of the things that really drives that is a lot of people simply don't know, A, that technology exists to solve that problem, and B, how to get started with that technology. And I think that really was the genesis of the dialogue we had with Tim to talk through please help coach people on how to build out an effective stack of technology solutions in the indirect space the way they've done in marketing and in direct sales. Okay, Tim. The result of a lot of the work that we do with companies is they see a huge return on investment. When people do get dialed in on the tech stack and the best practices that go along with them, because I feel, and I think Tim would probably agree, that the technology itself is foundational, but it's what you do with the technology that really counts. I feel like I'm quoting a movie there, but really it's what you do with the tech stack that you have, and building an effective tech stack is what delivers these results. And we've seen results of 31% increase in revenue across our entire customer base, coupled with a 23% reduction in time and administrative costs. And all of these things kind of add up to be an indication that that you've really got your sales dialed in right, and you're starting to catch the wind that can accelerate growth in the indirect channel. So when we see results like this, and this is research that we did with our customer base and said, after one full year of using these technology solutions, coupled with an overhaul of best practices, what results do you see? And this is what they tell us. When I see this, I think, yep, you've got it dialed in. You're starting to reap the rewards of that. And so our goal with this is to really make sure that we're able to kind of guide people on how to take those first few steps. And I think truly there's nobody better qualified to do that and has better insight in that than Tim. So Tim, with that, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Well, thank you, Dave. I'll do just a very short commercial on New Voce as well. If you're not familiar with Italian, it stands for new voice. And we're really trying to educate and equip go-to-market professionals to execute their strategies integratedly. And what I mean, two things, go-to-market professionals, I'm talking about marketing, sales, and channel professionals, right? All those folks that have key roles in customer touch points. And when I say integratedly, I mean together. And as I go through my part of the presentation, hopefully you'll get the point, and I think you probably already have gotten the point, that there's a lot of isolation, not only in terms of those functional areas of marketing, sales, and channels, but also in the technology strategies that are employed to support those functions. And we really focus on research and consulting. For this, the Impartner folks asked me to do research on how companies are employing sales technology, marketing technology, and channel technology, and in fact, if they are, attempting to integrate them or, approach that BizTech stack, if you will, in an integrated strategy fashion. So today, there are no shortage of customer touch points. I mentioned direct sales, channel marketing, but you've got customer support, product management, oftentimes reaches out, and then you have a plethora of means for communicating to the market, to your customers, right? Mobile applications, your website, email, integrated voice response, advertising. So certainly no shortage. That's not a problem today. And, having technology options available to you to support communicating and interacting with your customers is not a problem either. I'm sure many of you are familiar with some of the statistics that have been published by other entities in terms, for example, the number of martech technology solutions out there in the market. Some say over 3,500 independent software vendors that are providing martech solutions. You've got not only marketing automation platforms, which I'll talk about here in a minute, but you've got digital asset management, marketing resource management, search engine optimization, email marketing, channel marketing, advocacy marketing, affiliate marketing, incentive and loyalty program management, video marketing. Shall I go on? Sure, I can do that. You've got social marketing, you've got digital advertising, you've got web content management, you've got web analytics, on and on and on. And these are just, the categories. I think within each category you'll find numerous solutions. So, the total gets pretty big pretty fast. And that's just in the martech space. I can do the same thing in the chantech space. I can do the same thing in the sales tech space. In fact, I'll show you in a few minutes a architecture type diagram that you can use to plan your technology investment according to what I call a foundation strategy. But the reality is, and this is what I discovered in the research that I did, is that most go-to-market professionals, again, that's marketing, sales, and channel professionals, approach their technology adoption and technology investment in an ad hoc way, right? And, it has a result of creating what I call data silos in the desert. Not really a good thing. In fact, when I was with Forrester, as Dave mentioned, for 9 or 10 years, one of the things that we discovered was that integration of technologies was either the number one or the number two, depending on which survey and which year. But it was always, at the top of the list. Integration of technology was marketers' biggest challenge, and so I think that speaks to the fact that marketers and other go-to-market professionals have adopted technology on a piecemeal basis. Grabbing for the most recent shiny object, if you will, and it's come back to bite them. The other thing that I found is that sometimes there is a little bit of confusion about CRM, customer relationship management, PRM, partner relationship management, and marketing automation. In that some clients that I've talked to, some users in the past have based their technology investment and adoption premise on the theory or hypothesis that CRM can do everything. And I would think that you would find that even the CRM vendors themselves, Salesforce, Oracle, Microsoft, others, Sugar, have different products for salestech, different products for martech, and different products for the chantech space. So why this problem of data silos in the desert? Why grab for the most recent shiny object? I think the finger can be pointed right to SaaS, software as a service, cloud software. Again, this is what the research uncovered. And yes, cloud software is, perceived as having a lot of benefits, right? You can deploy it very easily. You can, access it anywhere. And then now you have, the cloud software vendors that provide all the security, in the cloud themselves, so you don't necessarily have to worry as much about that. But it's also created a couple of problems. One is under-considered buying. Because it is so easy to buy, a lot of vendors will say all you need to do is provide your credit card. That in fact is what oftentimes happens, for a 60 or 90-day trial, or a 1-year software subscription. They'll use the credit card and not go through what the classical procurement process of right? And so decisions are made really fast, sometimes too fast, and not in consideration of an overall technology strategy with respect to your go-to-market technology architecture. The other one, and this is proven out, whether it's Forrester's data or Gartner's or Serious Decisions or IDC's or any analyst firms, will tell you that the influence that the IT organization has over IT decisions seems to be waning on almost a yearly basis. And so IT has less and less influence and involvement in the IT decisions. Again, this is related to the fact that it can sometimes be so easy to acquire cloud software. That's not really a good thing, because it's the IT organization that does have the overarching picture of what the entire company is doing from a technology investment and technology architecture strategy. Now, I know that before the advent of cloud softwares could be frustrating to have to go through IT all the time, and sometimes the adoption life cycles were pretty long. But to cut IT out is begging for problems down the line with respect to integration. So what we found in talking with lots of different customers is that they didn't necessarily use the terminology, but what they were talking about was the system of record, that they really feel like they need a system of record as the foundation to their go-to-market architecture, something that captures, all the elements of the truth about the customer and the entities that interact with the customer, and the activities and interactions that go on between the customer and the customer touching entity. Right? And that's what they wish for or realize that they need, and so I think that's the right place to start, system of record. And system of record is a concept that's been around for a good number of years. I think it's been overshadowed recently by terminology like systems of insight and systems of engagement, but that doesn't make the systems of record concept any less critical than what it's always been. In fact, it becomes even more critical when you realize that you can't really affect a system of intelligence or a system of engagement without a robust system of record. So let's look at the macro categories for your go-to-market architecture, CRM, PRM, and market automation, and laying out the system of record elements for each of these. And your CRM, and this is again typical in most customers' implementations, where their CRM system will act as the system of record for customers and customer information, interactions with those customers, and leads and opportunities. PRM, partner relationship management, will act as the system of record for your channel partner entities, so those companies and employees of the companies that act as an extension of your own company via a channel model. The activities and interactions that those partners have with your company, the types of enablement and support programs that your company offers those channel partners, and opportunities. Great opportunities here because that coincides with a system of record element with CRM, and therefore in best practices models, opportunities in a PRM system of record oftentimes get logged to the CRM system of record. All right. Market automation is a system of record for your marketing campaigns, obviously your digital assets. A lot of marketing automation platform vendors have added digital asset management capabilities to their platform capabilities. And leads, and like opportunities with PRM, leads, while generated in via a marketing automation platform, oftentimes get logged to the CRM as the system of record for leads. So again, this is what a lot of users are doing in terms of best practices of thinking about their go-to-market architecture integratedly. And the system of record concept really cuts what I call a two-way functional street, right? So yes, let's take PRM, for example. So we talked about the system of record elements of PRM, so your channel partner entities, your channel partner interactions, your channel partner programs, all stored there, and then the applications that take advantage of those system of record elements. So your programs, for example, a market development funds program, a e-learning program, an incentive management program, a partner marketing program. All those applications are essentially feeding the system of record. And as they do, a proper PRM foundation will do those things that are expected of a system of record that can handle master data management. So they are removing duplicate records, they're standardizing the data. But every bit as importantly, and I think this is where it comes in architecturally, an appropriate system of record has the ability to feed other independent point solutions. And I think this is where we get the market problem, if you will, of having so many solutions. But if you have a system of record foundation, then all of these point solutions that you might want to grab as, the next new shiny object should have a capability to be a feed from the CRM, PRM, or marketing automation system of record foundation, right? So you have a chantech software product around partner marketing, for example. That partner system of record in the PRM system should be able to feed that point solution so that you have, again, one version of the truth of who your partners are and how your partners look in terms of their attributes and their categories. And which leads me to this next concept, right, that a powerful system of record can act as a segmentation engine. So you have all the applications that you employ to do something, with or for your partners or with or for your customers. The segmentation engine, which is another foundational element of a system of record, has the capability of essentially defining who you want to do this for, who you want to do this with, right? So I want to roll out a new loyalty program, but not to all of my customers or not to all of my partners. I should be able to define segments of my partner or customers' communities that I want to make specific offers for or roll out specific programs to. There's one more thing about PRM that I want to mention in terms of being foundational. So not only do PRM solutions have a system of record foundation element, which I think right now you probably get is pretty important for all the reasons I've talked about, but PRM solutions include something called portal, partner portal. And if you look up the definition of portal in one of the dictionaries, I think you'll find that it stands for a window or an opening through which things flow. And that's a pretty good definition. In this case, it's a web-based portal or web-based partner portal, but it's a way to get your company's internal systems and processes and assets out to your partners. And the PRM vendors have solutions, again, with lots of applications that actually flow through this portal, right? Sometimes I hear users refer to needing a PRM system. Sometimes I hear them referring to needing a partner portal. Oftentimes they mean the same thing, because the portal is the window through which all the applications that you enable your partners with can flow. And in a best case scenario, not only will point solutions take advantage of a PRM foundation's system of record to do things like segmentation, but also take advantage of the PRM solutions portal so they can flow their point solution application through one common portal, right? So a partner has only one portal to log into to get not only the PRM solution applications, but any point solution applications that your company decides to employ as well. So you want control? I'll quote Kevin O'Leary of Shark Tank. If you're not familiar, a popular television show about with entrepreneurs that are shopping their businesses for funding. Kevin O'Leary is one of the investors on the show, and one of his favorite lines is to stop the madness, and that's what I'm going to implore you to do. Stop the madness. Slow it down. Let's stop the overnight credit card swiping for, the new shiny objects, and give some thought and consideration, and bring IT into the process of your technology strategy. You'll see, if you think about it, you can employ this foundational approach of CRM, PRM, and marketing automation in a type of solar system or universe thinking, right, where you actually have a three-headed sun, if you will, of CRM, PRM, and marketing automation platforms. And once you have those foundations in place, those foundations then can support the utilization, if you will, of the bright shiny objects, the point solutions that may fit a very specific need or niche need, in your organization, by taking advantage of the data structures and the segmentation capabilities, and in the case of PRM, the portal capabilities that are offered by these foundational technologies. So I discussed the system of record as it being the single version of the truth. Right? It's the go-to source for data accuracy. And it's really, really critical, not only for sharing data out to other applications, but you need a single version of the truth in order to have a system of intelligence, business intelligence reporting and analytics, right? That is dependable. So it's key and critical for that. Secondly, your system of record acts as a master data management hub for all these point applications that may fill a niche need for your organization, right? Where the system of record acts as a dispensary for that single version of the truth data, and it really makes the implementation flight path of those point solutions much faster and much easier. And last but certainly not least, the value in having a system of record foundation approach for your go-to-market architecture is this notion of segmentation, right? Particularly for CRM and PRM platforms, which support people entities. CRM supports customers, right? PRM platforms support partners. That the foundation, really should include a segmentation ability where you have the ability to define or target who the program is for, or who the capability is for. Who do you want to target with this customer email? Who do you want to target for this particular partner certification program? That sort of capability. So, real quickly, one of the things that Nuvoce is doing is offering to help companies, and we've actually started that now, to optimize the technology acquisition process, if you will. We call it technology investment decision management, where we are providing a methodology and automation framework for how organizations should go about in terms of adopting and considering technology components into their overall architecture. And I'll invite Dave back on to talk a little bit more about what you're seeing, Dave, in terms of the trends.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And so, Tim, you closed with a strong point on segmentation. I love the topic of segmentation. It's probably a topic for another webinar that we should put together, but it's such a powerful concept, because we see so many people misunderstanding segmentation and building tiers and levels in their partner program, and then kind of peanut buttering their program resources across the different levels in ways that just honestly don't make sense. As an example, you think about somebody who, let's say you've got a new partner that's going to kind of help develop business for you in a new vertical or a new geographic segment that's strategically important to you. Because they're new and because they're small, they're clearly not going to be a gold or a platinum member. And so you're not going to allocate the resources to them that they need to help you strategically succeed in that segment. On the other hand, you may have people lingering in the gold or the platinum tier of your program because they did big revenue for you a year ago. And so now you say, look, everybody in my platinum tier gets $1 million of cooperative marketing funds a year. You may have somebody in that tier that doesn't even have a marketing department. And so that kind of peanut buttering of resources across the different tiers and levels of your program just feels very archaic to me. And the way we think people should think about that is everybody in your program is gold or platinum at something. You need to figure out what they're gold or platinum at and allocate that resource to them. And so it's a great topic for conversation. We'll do another webinar on that. I love how you talk about the system of record. I think that's so important. And to us, to Impartner, and to me personally, that is the right use for CRM. CRM drives your direct business. It's great in a model for one-to-one interaction, company, customer. It's really set up right for that. And the last thing that we should do is inject all kinds of new systems of record throughout the organization. Why not standardize that? Why not use kind of one integrated solution for that? Where we see the CRM role start to break down is when that relationship becomes many-to-many or one-to-many, where you've got such a complex set of steps through your distribution channel. And a lot of people have been wondering if the cloud and the growth of kind of cloud-based service providers kind of makes the channel less important. To me, it makes it almost more important, but the role changes a little bit. And so you can see a deal go from inception all the way through to closed and deployed and in use. And there are so many different partners at each step of that process that I think having a tool like a PRM system to help guide that and track that process just makes all kinds of sense. A very smart person once said, and I'm quoting directly, look up the classic definition of portal in a dictionary, and you'll find something along the lines of a door, gate, or entrance. Indeed, the partner portal is the web door through which all channel partner applications, processes, and communications flow. So for our listeners, that's right out of Tim's most recent report, and we strongly encourage you to download it, read it. I think it's got great content in it. But the way Tim talks about that portal as being the web door, when you think about the myriad of tools available to enhance and facilitate the direct sales process, it would be a nightmare to work your way through that web of tools without having a common CRM, a common platform to attach them to. Likewise, I think one of the points that Tim makes so powerfully in the research is in the indirect channel, having this huge array of incentive programs and CPQ, configure price quote tools, and all of the other tools that are available now or starting to become available to facilitate indirect sales, it can be daunting to think about how do you work through the process of implementing those tools. But just like in the direct sales space, in indirect sales, having that web portal or that web doorway as a platform to hang all of these tools on just really helps kind of focus the process and focus the flow. And Tim has made several times, both at NuVoce and at some of the other groups that he's worked with, the point that as the importance of an area of business grows, technological solutions arrive to enable that business. He makes the point how in the 90s, operations was so important and ERP arrived to enable that. And then sales and the arrival of Salesforce in the aughts, where Salesforce automation that we now refer to as CRM really arrived to enable the concept of driving the competitive edge of being able to manage your direct sales process. Likewise, in the decade of the tens, how marketing automation, and I'm a marketing person, we wouldn't be able to do what we do today without having a marketing automation platform. We really are in the golden age of indirect channels right now, and we see this amazing proliferation of technologies to enable the indirect channel. And I think looking at that from the perspective of the planets and the orbits around the planets, get yourself the doorway, get yourself the platform in place, And all of those tools that you're looking at and all of that emerging technology will help to augment that and will make more sense as you focus it through that lens of the partner portal into your partner community. So with that, we're going to wrap up. Tim, thank you so much. Very good content, very good insight. We strongly recommend that people download the report and and read through it and make more time of that. The links to download that are there. You can get it off NuVoce's website, or you can click on that link for the report off Impartner. These slides are available in the webinar for download. Tim, any closing comments?
It's always hard to do closing comments after your closing comments, Dave. Sometimes I'm going, not this, in this case, I'm going to defer to you because I think that was a strong close that got all the points across that are critical.
All right, awesome. Well, we thank you, Tim, for your time. We really appreciate the work that went into putting this content together and the data that underlines it. And thanks to everybody for your time today. And that's a wrap. Thanks.